We see that one of the bandits put a knife to the main character's throat. Kim looked surprised. Kim Teek, it will be a pity to say goodbye to you. Forget about these idiots and come to me. I'll take your share, Chun said as he put the bat to Kim's head. Think carefully about your answer. Of course, if you don't want your homeless life to end so stupidly here, Chun said. We can see the surprise on Chun's face. You think he's dead weight? Guys, you seem to underestimate him, Kim said. Kim had a smile on his face. What? Chun asked. We can see Chun's surprise. After that, we see Kim throw a right-handed punch directly at Chun's jaw. We see a flashback of Kim and Lim's conversation. I still want to go, Lim said. Don't be so hard-headed. Kim said. If Lim began to speak. I'll drag you down, Lim continued. We see that Kim is looking at Lim intently. Just drop me, the main character said confidently. There was a certain confidence in what he was saying in his eyes. What are you doing? You really want to see that bastard is. The bandit didn't finish his speech. We can see the surprise on the bandit's face. On the next page, we see Lim grabbing the bandit's arm and grabbing the blade with his other hand. That brat is him, the bandit said. We can see the bandit's surprise. If he was looking for a hostage, then you made the wrong choice, Kim said. We see flashbacks where Lim writes a will. I'm the one who wrote the suicide note, Lim said. And this wasn't some asshole joke, Lim said while holding the blade with one hand while smiling. We see the effects of Kim's punch to Chun's face. This kid, Kim thought. We see Lim hit the attacker with the back of his head. Probably the craziest of us all, Kim continued his thought. The bandit fell to the ground after being hit. We can see the bleeding coming from Lim's arm. Hengul's family was surprised by the outcome. There's no one among us who would give up without a fight, Kim said while looking at Chun. Motherfucker, shut your mouth, Chun said. Do you think you've already won? Chun asked, running his hand over the spot where Kim had hit him. We'll see. How you gonna sing when I beat the shit out of you? Chun said. We can see that the battle between Hengul's family and Guanghe's group continues. We also see that Kim and Chun have continued their fight. We see a continuation of the fight between Kim and Chun. Kim threw a kick and Chun was able to block it with a bat. Then Chun himself hit Kim with the bat. Kim shielded himself from the blow by putting up a block. Does the block make any sense at all? Kim thought about it. We see that the blow fell on the shoulder. The bat makes it harder for me to get close to him. Besides, this asshole is surprisingly careful and has almost no weak spots in his defense. We see Chun swinging the bat in front of him, preventing Kim from getting close to him. Make one strong swing all at once, Kim thought. We can see that Kim has quite a difficult time in battle. He barely dodges the bat. We see Chun moving towards Kim with a heavy swing. We see a very focused look on Kim's face. We see that two bandits suddenly grabbed Kim. At this time, Chun looks as focused as possible. Go to hell, Kim said as he punched one of the bandits who were holding him down. At this time, Chun was approaching Kim with a strong swing. At this time, Lim hit the back of Chun's head with a stick, causing the stick to shatter into pieces. Lim Dajin, Chun said, surprised at what had just happened. Chun himself was holding on to the spot on the back of his head where the blow had landed. We see Lim's surprised face. He clearly didn't expect that hitting Chun's head would have no effect. Creature, there will be no end to these bastards, Chun said. We can see that Chun got angry after being hit by the main character. It doesn't look quite strong. Don't worry, I've already defeated one. Lim thought that the main character's entire body was shaking from the mere sight of Chun. I'm not afraid of such scumbags anymore, Lim thought. Are you sure about this? Chun asked as he approached Lim. Really want to, Chun continued. We see the face of the main character who is shaking with fear of the bandit approaching him. Compete with me? Chun asked as he approached Lim. His eyes were bloodshot, and his whole appearance showed that he was ready to go to the end. Wait, Chun Kai Unhe. thought Lim. We can see the fear in the protagonist's eyes. Another, he's nothing like anyone I've ever encountered before. Lim thought to himself as he thought of all the others he had already fought. If I fight him, I will definitely die, Lim thought. At this moment, the protagonist felt that Chun was huge and Lim himself was small. A huge shadow covered the main character. I thought it wouldn't happen again. But just like before, my body just froze. Lim thought. We see flashbacks of Lim being humiliated by Lee Do-yoon's gang. We see Chun's grin. On the next page, we see Lim getting hit in the stomach with a baton. The damage from the impact is enormous. Don't turn up your nose just because your buddies have your back, you idiot, Chun said. We can see Chun smiling after hitting the main character. No, maybe I won't be able to move because of fear, Lim thought. We can see the consequences of a missed shot. I'll finish you off after I beat up your buddies, Chun said as he turned away from the main character. We can see the surprise on Chun's face. Hangel's family dealt with the entire gang, so they believed in themselves, having dealt with small fry. But don't you think that 1 in 3 is a bit unfair for a bunch of pseudo-heroes? Chun asked. We see an evil grin on the bandit's face. Do you still have the nerve to say that? Hong said. We can see that the girl is extremely serious. Chun Kai-woon sorry, Kim said. The word honest doesn't apply to you, Kim said. We see a trio of friends rushing into battle. We see Ha rapidly approaching Chun. Chun himself prepared to hit with the bat. Chun threw a punch, but Ha managed to dodge the blow. Ha stabbed Chun's liver. I hit it perfectly, thought Ha. We can see the surprise on Woo Ha's face. He doesn't care, wondered Ha. We can see the smile on Woo Chun's face, and it looks like Ha's punch didn't do any damage. We see Kim attack from behind and try to shackle Chun by grabbing him by the leather jacket. We see that Chun kicked out at Ha. At this time, Hong ran up from the side and grabbed Chun's leg. Get him out of here, Hong said. Okay, he's almost there, Kim said. We see that under the pressure of 2 people, Chun begins to lose his balance. Chun started shouting. We can see the uncontrollable anger on Woo Chun's face. Chun caught the bat in his other hand. We see that he hit Hong. The girl was thrown several meters away after the impact. Chun grabbed Kim's arm, and he threw it. Kim flew a few meters away. What kind of animal is this? Hong said while holding her stomach. Don't worry. As long as we don't lower our guard, everything will be fine, Kim said. We can see that the whole trio is serious. That bastard. No matter how strong he is, we have the advantage. But why does he look so cocky? Kim pondered the situation. This is the last time I've suggested it, so think carefully. Work for me, haha, Chun said. The bandit looked extremely confident in his abilities. What's gotten into your head so hard? I'd rather get off the streets and go home, Hong said. We see that the girl is serious. She is preparing to join the battle again. Chun's grin never left his face. You had a chance to survive, but you missed it yourself, Chun said, and then the bandit hit the shelf. Changul's family started to look around. We see other bandits approaching Cho's friends. A decent number of bandits had formed around the trio. How many? Bastards are there anyway? Kim thought, his face showing concern at what was happening as the enemy's advantage in numbers dramatically changed the situation. Finish them, Chun said. By ordering his bandits to attack Hangel's family, we see a close-up of the building where the battle between Hangel's family and Gwanghee's gang took place. Ha and Hong were lying on the floor in a battered state. Hey, do you want to hear something interesting? Chun asked. In front of him, Kim was kneeling in a battered state. My guys whispered that those assholes at your favorite pizza place lied to us about not knowing you. These rats seem to have forgotten who they're dealing with, so I sent a friend of mine to see them, Chun said. We see Kim's battered face, Kim said. Yoon Seungbo Gwanghee has a repulsed psychopath who is obsessed with arson. I downloaded Chun. We see a creature in the background of Chun laughing as the building goes up in flames. Wait a minute, Kim said. Don't be so nervous, Chun said as he scanned the messages on his phone. This psycho will make sure that the pizzeria remains a pile of ashes, Chun said while holding the phone while smiling. We can see that Chun is grimacing. Lim bit Chun's leg. What the fuck? Let me go, you dog, Chun said as he kicked the main character's head. He's crazy. This asshole is scary as hell, Lim thought. At this time, the main character's head was being hit by blows from Chun. But let him burn down the restaurant. Nayeon's been through enough already, Lim thought as he recalled what Nayeon and her father had gone through. Stay out of the restaurant. I told Lim not to let go of Kim's leg. That bastard, why it won't detach itself, Chun thought as he looked down on Lim. Get off, Chun said as he hit Lim's face with the bat. I'll spend more time on you here, Chun said as he scanned the messages on his phone. Hey Seungbo, about that fucking pizza place, Chun said. The bandit got through to the arsonist and says about the destruction of the restaurant. Agasia? Came from the phone. What? This voice, Chun thought. We can see the surprise on the bandit's face. We see that a shadow has appeared in front of the bandits. Looking for me? Said the unknown. We see the arsonist that Chun called fly into the building after being badly beaten. This action surprised the other bandits. Yoon Seungbo. The bandits were talking. We see a close-up of the arsonist's battered face. He has no living space on his face. Is he the crazy pyromaniac Cho, who had come to fight Gwang Hee's gang? Asked. Haven't there been a lot of psychopaths lately? Cho asked. We see Chun's angry face. Are you guys also beginning psychos? Cho asked as he arrived at the scene of the gang fight while holding his phone. Today Cho said, we see a battered Lim looking at Cho. I won't stop no matter how much you beg, Cho said. We can see that Cho is serious. Jo Hangul, one of the gang members, said, we see that an impressive group of people has gathered in front of Cho. I thought you'd run away, but I see I've decided to stop by for a light. Chun said, we can see that Chun is confident in his abilities. Yoon Seungbo also rolled it into bloody mincemeat. Chun said, the bandits discussed Cho's arrival among themselves, as well as the fact that Yoon was now incapable of anything. If you were so kind as to invite us, that's right from the beginning. I'm so tired of looking for you, Cho said while showing the phone screen. Well, I think you've pretty much crushed my guys, and they are not so easy to deal with. It's been a while since I've seen Teak get hit so hard, Chun said. We can see that Hangul's entire family is in a bad state. That's why you shouldn't have gotten in our way. Why did you even need to pry into our business? Chun asked. Dick, I put on your business mafiosi unfinished. Your dirty business didn't concern me at all, but since you decided to meddle with my family, Cho said, we see that two characters are facing each other. Don't even dream of getting out of here in one piece, Cho said. Cho's expression was serious. This bastard is taking too much on himself, one of the bandits said and tried to attack Cho. Cho blocked the kick and took a step to the side. After that, Cho grabbed the bandit's arm and used a painful move to break the bandit's arm. Ah, 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 the bandit shouted. We see Chun watching his subordinate suffer. Fly you because much more, Cho said with a smirk on his face. The bandits began to discuss what had just happened and concluded that they would meet the same fate as their accomplice. Stupid people, what hatched? Go and finish him off, Chun shouted as he tried to get his subordinates to attack Jo Hangul. $100 to whoever brings this bastard to me, Chun said, trying to motivate his subordinates to attack Cho. The crowd surged into battle, shouting. We can see the absolutely calm expression on Cho's face. Cho dodged one man's punch and then delivered a right cross to the head of another bandit. We see that the bandit missed a punch and went for a knockout, while Cho grabbed the man behind him by the scruff of the neck. We see Cho throw a man at the other bandits. We see that one of the bandits sneaked up on Cho from behind and tried to grab him. Cho picked up a piece of wood from the ground. We see Cho hit the attacker on the head with a piece of wood. At the same time, one of the bandits was already attacking Cho from the front. Cho dodged by taking a step to the side. The bandit's kick missed its target. Cho used a neck grab and swung the piece of wood that was in his hand. We see that Cho struck with this piece of wood and the bandit began to bleed. Joe Hangul. Back on the construction site, he was just fooling around. Lim thought as he lay on the floor and watched the head of the family smash the faces of the gang members. So that's what he's really capable of, Lim thought. We see Cho strike the bandit's head with his right hand. Wu Chun's face is angry. Joe Hangul, don't move, Chun said. We see that Cho is surrounded by bandits. Unless, of course, you want that idiot to be crippled for the rest of his life, Chun said while holding Kim's hand, threatening to break his arm. We see a serious-minded Cho. Meanwhile, Cho strikes at one of Guang He's bandits. Are you serious? Chun shouted. Sure, go ahead, Chun said. We see that Chun is determined to cripple Kim. I said do it, asshole, Cho said. We can see that Cho isn't worried about the consequences of his words. What's wrong with this frostbite? Chun said. Hyung isn't the type to be deterred by such threats, Kim said. If only he cared about that, Kim said. We can see the smile on his face. He would never have gone this far, Kim said. We see Cho headbutt another person's head. Excellent thanks to its wonderful Hangul, Chun said. We see his angry face. You can say goodbye to your hand. We see that Chun is swinging to strike at Kim's hands. Look at this, Joe Hangul. Don't you regret it? It's because of you that he's like this now, Chun said after crippling Kim. Cho barely noticed what had just happened. Sorry, Cho asked. At this time, he struck a barrel in which firewood was burning. We see that Cho made a dash in the direction of the bandits. We'll see who's going to be sorry at the end, said Kim jumped over the fire that flew out of the barrel. Joe Hangul, Chun thought. We see Chun's angry face. I heard that Joe Hangul's family is in the territory under your control. I don't envy you. You've heard rumors that Brat Hangul is as strong as his older brother from Guanghe. The person standing in the shadows said, What do you mean, Hyung? Chun asked. We see a flashback in which the bandits discuss Cho. And what is not clear? Don't mess with Joe Hangul's gang, the man in the shadows said. We can see the bewilderment on Chun's face. Do you think we should give up on them, even though they're trying to get us out of the way? Chun asked. Exactly. You can shake money from anyone you want as long as you avoid them. If you contact them, it won't end well, the man in the shadows said. Do you want me to let them live in peace while they interfere with my business? Chun asked. Fuck them, Chun said. I'll just kill these bastards, Chun thought. At this time, the bandit struck at Cho. Then no one will bother us anymore, Chun thought. We see that the bandit swings hard before striking. We see Chun randomly swinging the bat in front of him, trying to hit Cho. Cho puts other gang members under attack. The blow flew directly into the face of one of the gangsters, Guanhe. That bastard doesn't even pay attention to me? Chun thought about it. We see Cho dodge Chun's punches and beat up other gang members of Guanghe along the way. The creature is finished, Chun shouted as he swung the bat at Cho. We can see the shock in Chun's eyes. Chun hit one of the members of his own gang with his bat. Phew. Well, here's the last one left, Cho said. We see that all around them are the excess gang members. This cattle. Did you put them all down while you were dealing with me? Chun thought as he was shocked by what he saw. I like to leave sweets for last, Cho said. We see Chun's angry face. Shut your mouth, Chun said as he tried to throw a punch. At this time, Cho dodged the blow and threw a left-handed punch to Chun's face. We see Chun miss a series of punches from Cho. You're a tough guy. Now it's clear why you're having trouble with yourself. Only here, Cho said. We see Chun approaching Cho, shouting, You can't beat me, Cho said while kicking the bandit's body. We can see that the bat was bent by the impact, and Chun himself took significant damage from the impact. Lift. I'm not done with you yet, Cho said. We see that Chun has fallen to his knees. Nasty stuff, Chun said. We can see that his eyes are bloodshot. Fuck you, Chun-Yi said and threw himself at Cho, trying to knock the latter to the ground. We see how Chun managed to knock Cho to the ground, and Chun sat on top of him and started throwing a series of punches at Cho. Pancake. This freak is nothing like that, Chun thought as he recalled his conversation with the Shadow Man. So why do you say avoid him like that? Chun thought. We can see the surprise on his face. We can see Wu Chun's shock. Cho used a technique called the elbow lever. Oh, damn, thought Chun, caught on a painful reception. Pancake, beast, you broke it, Chun shouted while grabbing his arm. Yes, I heard, Cho said. Your friend Yun Seungbo told me that you were behind our poisoning. We see Cho interrogating gang member Guang He.